Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. I thought you guys would like the Miami gear. Listen, man, I'm excited about this Miami Cowboys game. I Listen, man, and I was looking at Miami's spread record today, and we've picked Miami pretty much every week. I was looking at the Miami spread record. They're 9-5, and that's pretty damn good whenever you can do that. Miami's pretty much been a money pick every single week of the year. So just wanted to give a shout out to the Miami Dolphins for going 9-5. And you can talk about that Bills games. You can talk about those other ones. But what I'm talking about is being consistent, finding value, and just believing in the team. Miami 9-5 against the spread, victory lap incoming, maybe even 10-5 after this week. It's a tough game against Dallas, man, but I'm looking forward to it. What's up, Prestige? Yeah. Well, dude, the hat doesn't look all that good because I have a huge hat, but man, we should just use it for the lulz. Anyways, I wish I had this Lions gear for what they've helped us with the last 2 years. Yeah, man. What's up, Ron? What's up, Prestige? What's up, Don't Panic? What's up, Brian Webb? That's what people do. They bet Dallas. Whether they're good, bad, great, poor, people just bet Dallas, man. And they're big with the public, man. And public has been better this year than most years. We have to give the public a little bit of credit, but they're going to pound the Cowboys regardless. We know that's how that goes. We know that's how it goes, man. Nice to be with everyone. Merry Christmas. I had to get that laugh out of the way with the Dolphins gear. Looking forward to this week. I'm seeing a lot of games. I'm seeing a lot of games that I want to go for. Last week we knew what we did. We put in the big bet for the Browns. We got a push out of it. Someone was lying on YouTube about that. That was the only thing that pissed me off, but it was great to talk with you guys this week. Great. Thank you for that. Merry Christmas wishes. I really appreciate it. Let's wait for everyone to dial in here. What's up, Steve? What's up, St. Nicholas? Always great to see you guys. Yeah, let's get to the first Patreon question. My opinion, is Washington the pick this week, Lawson? Well, let's look at what the spread's at right now. I think it's going to stay at 3. We haven't seen much movement throughout the week. Bro, I got to tell you, man, it would. If we know we're getting Jacoby Brissett, I would suggest, yes, this is the week to bet Washington. But the way Sam Howell is playing and against that Jets defense, you just can't do it. And I don't think people understand how bad Sam Howell is playing. I don't know if any of you guys watched that Rams no-names game last week. I did. The difference in the offensive formula and the offensive rhythm when Jacoby came in for Sam Howell was a huge difference. You would have thought Joe Montana came off the bench for Sam Howell. That's what a large difference it is. I get why people want to slam the no-names. I get wanting to fade Trevor Siemian. I haven't been comfortable with people fading this Jets defense the whole year. And also, maybe some people are a little bit butthurt because remember last week when we had the Dolphins as the money pick to cover against the Jets, a lot of people were on the Jets. Public was on the Jets, and people get mad and they react to one loss, which you shouldn't do. And the Dolphins, 9-5 against the spread for us, betting them damn near every week. Yeah, man. So that's where I'm at. I would not touch the Commanders in any shape or form. Jared, I think the Dolphins win. We'll talk about this game a lot, but I do think the Dolphins win. I do like their matchups. We're getting Tyreek the Thrill Hill back. A lot of people underestimated the Dolphins last week, and every single time this team gets underestimated, all they do is cover spreads. That's all they've done for us the whole year. If I told you before the year Miami would go 9-5 against the spread for us, would you be typing narratives that say, "Oh, Miami hasn't beaten a good team," or "Bills will win the AFCs"? I've been hearing that Bills will win the AFCs. Like, remember when the Bills beat the Dolphins' ass, and I said, "Listen, I still think Dolphins are best team in this AFCs." That's what I'm staying consistent with, and I think this Miami team is growing. Like, I do like the matchups for Miami. Like, I like the way Christian Wilkins is playing in the interior to stop this Dallas run. I like the way Jalen Ramsey seems to be getting faster and more explosive every single week. I do hope that Fangio has Jalen Ramsey follow CeeDee Lamb around. Like, I feel like if you can get some hands on CeeDee Lamb, if you can put a good corner against him, I do feel like the options for the Cowboys are a little bit sparse. Now, on the other side, you always worry about that Cowboys defensive line. And we heard the excuses this whole week. They were sick and there was a bug going around the locker room. And that's why the Bills kicked their ass. I don't know, man. I don't know. But I do like Miami's matchup in this. What do the Cowboys like to do on defense? They like to play man-to-man. And yes, they're going to change it up. I don't think they're going to play as much man-to-man as normal, but they're going to play a lot of man-to-man, and that is absolute kryptonite. That is absolute death when you play the Miami Dolphins. We know that. I mean, against the Dolphins, the teams that have success this year against them have played zone. Those are the teams that have had success, and I don't think the Cowboys are going to do that. That's not in their scheme. I do think they have some weaknesses in the secondary. I do think some people are washing over those because that secondary has created a lot of turnovers. I like where the Dolphins are sitting right now. I do. And every good team in this league has a slump phase. And Miami had theirs. The 49ers had theirs. The Ravens had theirs, although we didn't see the Ravens completely fall off the cliff like the 49ers losing 3 straight games. The Bills had theirs. And now people are saying the Bills are going to get out of the AFC, which I get it because no one's playing good ball in the AFC. But you see what I'm saying? Like, this is just another reason why I'm pivoting back to and why I'm wearing the Dolphins shit this year, because 9-5 against the spread, we picked them every week and we're 9-5 and you can do the math and you don't like losing 5 times, but we know in this game, 9-5, it's about as good as it gets. I think it's at like 64%. Just drop. Yeah. Yeah, Nick Taylor. Yeah, I'm wearing the Dolphin stuff. It is a little bit of a joke, but after what the Lions did for us the last 2 years, we need to show the Dolphins a little bit of love, especially because how much flack we've taken for backing the Dolphins. What's up, James? What's up, Jay Kicks? Why is Colts all the way up to 2.5? Because a lot of people like betting Atlanta at home. I mean, it's been successful for us for the last 2 years. It's just I'm not going to do it anymore. I think this Atlanta team is garbage, and we called that Panthers win against them last week. And the Falcons do play better at home, but I think a lot of that's home field. I think a lot of that is, and the Colts do have some injuries, but Pittman got cleared. That was one thing I was looking at. That is a good question, and I feel like they're baiting people. We know the public's going to be on the Colts, but I don't want you changing your mind about a game just because the public's on it. Like, it's not one of those years. Like, the public's doing better than they have in the past. Yeah, man. I do think this Miami Cowboys game has an opportunity to turn into a shootout. Has this Dolphins defense answered my questions? No. But I do see improvement. I do see improvement. And what are we looking at? Like, we got Smith out for the Cowboys, and we got Jack Martin banged up with that quad. I do think that can help the Dolphins as well. And I do feel like these offensive matchups for the Dolphins, I think people are kind of sleeping on them against the Cowboys. It's going to be a good game. A Merry Christmas, Jose. Thank you, man. Thank you, my man. Thank you, my man. Yeah, Jay, I don't know what's going on with the Eagles, man. Remember this earlier in the year, we were saying they looked like shit. Yeah, they kept covering spreads. They kept winning games. I guess that came back to bite them. And if I could do one thing over from a meta perspective with what we've done this year, it would be to just stick with betting against the Eagles, because we got burned a little bit earlier in the year with it. But at the end of the day, we were right. The performances were shit. They were still covering spreads, but the performances were shit, and eventually that comes back to haunt you. Like, I think people get too caught up with results, and I get it, and people get too caught up for results. Like, that's one reason why we've went 9-5 betting Miami, and other people bet against them, and they're 5-9. It's because people overreact to one game, like the Bills slamming the hell out of the Dolphins. Some things are an outlier, and there is a little bit of a dice roll involved in all of this. And this Eagles team looks like shit now. They look like shit. The way they found a way to lose that Seahawks game was startling. Startling, man. Okay, what's up, Michael, man? What's up, Jeremy? What's up, Rain Final? What's up, Mike Stacks? Okay, here we go. Okay, let's get to the first Patreon question. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. A Miami Dolphins edition, a holiday edition live call-in show. This is from Prestige. Merry Christmas to your family, John. Thank you, Prestige. I really appreciate it, my man. This year, I'm in a 1,200 square suite on the Strip in Vegas. So when you pop a bottle using your knife to cut your steak and opening your presents with your family, look around and know we got your back. And thank you for all the help these years. I really appreciate that. And the way you wrote that had like a little bit of like a mafioso taint to it. I really like the Bills, but I don't know how to bet it. The Chargers will not beat the Bills in any fantasy world. I also really like San Fran. They're healthy, and I think they have the edge on the Ravens. Sprinkle for the Dolphins. What are you seeing this week? Man, I do kind of want to stay away from these marquee games. Man, I've been pacing all day thinking if I'm going to bet the Dolphins or not, still thinking about that. I don't think we should look past the Lions. And what's going on with Lawrence? Is he going to play for the Jags? Listen, this is the thing that annoys me about this concussion protocol. And I've been saying this all year. Sorry if I'm repeating myself. But you guys notice, like, let's say a safety or a linebacker or running back gets put in concussion protocol. We know what to expect as bettors. Like, if McCaffrey gets a concussion, we know what's coming. He gets put in concussion protocol on Monday. He's going to miss that next game, and then he's back the next week. With quarterbacks, they bend the rules, man. They've been bending the concussion protocol rules this whole damn year. And we just don't know what to do with Lawrence. But I really like the Bucs in this situation. And also, I do like home field advantage at this time of the year. Like, for instance, look at what the Seahawks did to the Eagles. Like, I know the Eagles are playing like shit, but that Seattle team, man, I feel like they've just had a terrible year, man. I feel like that's a team that's really underachieved. And, you know, you look at home field advantage last week, like Panthers beating the Falcons, Colts slamming the Steelers. Yeah, we were on the Colts all week, but did we think they would slam the Steelers and blow them out and absolutely butt blast them? No, I didn't see that coming. So, like, I feel like home field advantage it is pretty fucking strong at this time of the year. Even with that being said, like the Lions against my Vikings, like I don't think we can sleep on that one. I can't sleep on the Colts. Like I know there's going to be big public money on the Colts, but I can't sleep on that. I don't really want to touch shit like Bengals and Steelers where we're just relying on Mike Tomlin magic. Like we had that like week 6 to week 10 period where we were really making money with the Steelers. We got off at the right time, and I don't think I want to go get back on this train because I think this train's going off the fucking tracks and is going to explode. And the George Pickens situation is everything with that. And yeah, man. Yeah, man, that's where I'm at. That's just the base thoughts. Browns Texans has been confusing this whole week. Like they announced CJ Stroud out earlier in the week. Yeah, I do feel like there's some sort. I do feel like the Texans are leaving the window open a little bit, at least cracked. But like I said, Browns are on the no bet list. Like we made our money with them. I'm off the fucking train. Maybe I can be enticed next week. And as for the Bills game, yeah. I mean, the Dolphins have been covering giant spreads for us all year. I don't know if I trust the Bills at this point. Like, I remember when everyone else got excited about the Bills when they were laying 7 to the Broncos and and we saw how that went. Like, the Bills is just a team I don't trust. Like, and I would think Bills team total, but the only thing that worries me about Bills team total is I think this Chargers defense will play a lot harder. Does this Chargers defense have problems? Yes. But I think the biggest issue with this Chargers defense was the schematic issues. Like, I don't think there's been any team in this league who's blown more coverages than the Chargers. Like, we're not talking about guys getting whooped. We're not talking about, like, zone breakers or guys losing in man-to-man. We're talking about guys forgetting assignments. Like, remember that Miami Dolphins-Chargers game early in the year? They had about 3 or 4 breaks that led to 50-yard plays. So I do think this Chargers defense is going to be a little bit better. So I think you should trust your instincts. And thank you, my man. It's great to know you guys have my back. So it's always great to get on here and talk to you guys, man. That's why I always do this show before I put in my bets. It gets me in the rhythm. And plus lots of news breaks Friday afternoon. Okay. Let's check the bet distribution in this Cowboys-Dolphins game, because I don't know, man. My guess is about 64% of the money is on the Cowboys at this point. Let's see. It's always interesting to look at this. I don't let this change my bets, and I don't want you guys like obsessing over this shit. But I do like looking at it just for a little bit of okay. 51% are on the Dolphins, 49% are on the Cowboys. This is according to Vegas Insider. I feel like all of them give different data. Like there's a lot, I think there's like 5 or 6 of them. They all seem to give different data. I trust Vegas Insider the most. But that's where I'm at. I'm kind of surprised about it, right down the middle. NFL hasn't done too good a job with that this year. We've seen more lopsided betting distributions this year than in previous years. Okay, here we go. Zamora with the super chat. Thank you for the $5, my guy. Lawson, full point per reception. Choose one. Javonte Williams. Devin Singletary, Zach Charbonnet, Kareem Hunt, Josh Palmer, Jamison Williams. Saw it snowing in Denver. Okay. Well, I like the Patriots to cover. Okay. Let me get Devin Singletary. Listen, you do worry about Pierce taking some of the touches. Pierce has been banged up this whole second half of the year. But I feel like Devin Singletary is playing great. And with Javonte Williams, like I think he's probably the best running back on this list. But the problem is Denver's using like 3-4 guys, and they're using like Shamaz Piran. They're using 3 other guys. They're using 4 running backs some games, like in a matter of plays. Like I watched like 13 Broncos plays. You see 4 other running backs. Charbonnet is good at catching the ball. But man, I'm going to go Devin Singletary. This Browns defense has been susceptible against the run, and they do make mistakes. And listen, as much money as the Browns have made us this year, let's be honest, man. This Browns defense is a different animal on the road. Look at the road home splits. I'm going Devin Singletary. I like Devin Singletary there, man. Denver using way too much of a rotation. Javonte Williams has been an absolute dog this year. Not sure why he's not getting the ball, man. Thank you, Dean. Thank you, Dean. I'm not the best hat wearer because I got a big head, but we had to do this, man. I had to take the victory lap after the Dolphins covered another money pick last week. Have to do it, man. 9-5 against the spread. Let's go, bro. I mean, that's good against the spread. I mean, it's not what the Lions did for us last year, but it's still pretty damn good. Okay, let's get to Lino on Patreon. Yo, what's good, my friend? First of all, I want to wish Lawson and his family a Merry Christmas and a happy, healthy New Year. Thank you. Great to see you. I hope you have a great Christmas and New Year, Lino. Hope everything goes for you. That goes for our Patreon family as well. Shout out to Lawson, Dicko, Degenerate, Prestige, and to Lauren. All I want for Christmas is plenty of degenerate soccer plays and for my butt not to be manhandled or blasted by the Bucs. How are you feeling for this week's slate, my guy? Peace. I'm feeling good. And I am feeling good. I think we're gonna go 4 strong this week, and I think we're gonna have 2 soccer plays for Saturday. Soccer's been great. We're going to continue that in the off season. We're going to go. Lino, did you see the USFL and XFL had a merger? Last year, the USFL was really good to us. Let's hope this new league is good to us. And I listen, the USFL is brutal to watch, fun to bet, but one thing I liked about it was the officiating was pretty damn good, man. I got to give them credit. So let's hope in this merger of the USFL and XFL, we can bet it with confidence and win as much money as we did last year. Like, it's going to be hard to do what we did last year, but I still think we can make money off of it. We do have to suffer through the games, but you know, what else are we going to do, man? Thank you, man. I'm feeling good this week. Derek, money. What 1 to 2 games would you take off this 7-point teaser, if any? Buffalo -5.5. Detroit +4. Dallas +8.5. KC -3. Philly -6. San Fran +1.5. Okay, let's take off San Fran and Dallas. And listen, I think San Fran wins and covers against the Ravens. Like, I'm not trying to get you anxious about it, but there is a possibility, let's say San Fran doesn't show up. Sometimes in these big marquee games, one team just doesn't fucking show up. Look at the Cowboys last week against the Bills. And so I would just take that off of there. And I don't feel like you're getting great value with that anyways. Like, let's say the Ravens win by a field goal. If Lamar Jackson has the game of his life, which is always possible, we know how good he is. And I would take Dallas at the +8.5. And this is just pure mathematics. I do think Miami and the Cowboys is a shootout. I do think it goes down to the wire. But mathematically and statistically, I like teasing games, and the data shows this. It's not smart to tease games with high totals. I think the highest total this week is Cowboys-Dolphins. So let's just lay off of that one. But I like the Buffalo -5.5. I like the Detroit +4. I like bringing KC down to -3. And I do like the Philly -6. Although, can't we just bring the Colts up? I mean, can't we just bring the Colts up? Yeah, that would be my suggestion. It's just that Philly one. Yeah, they should do it, but just get the Colts on there. Like, and there's other games too, like this Panthers-Packers game is going to be a fucking grinder. The Steelers-Bengals game is going to be a grinder. Those are the teasers that they're not sexy, they're not good looking, but they hit. Charles Kaiser, any teasers this week? 2 teams, 6 points. When I post the bets, I'll post it under your comment, my man. Have a great Christmas, man. Canyon Wiz, 4-team, 13-point teaser. We're 10-4 this year. Let's get it. Yeah, man. We had some really bad luck 2 weeks ago. Like, one of them really bothered me. 10-4, I'll take it. I'll post it at the same time as normal. Louis V. Merry Christmas, John. Really excited to be a part of the money team. Thank you, Louis. Great to have you here. I like the Steelers +3 at home and the Titans +3 at home. Your thoughts, please. Man, I like the Titans this week too. Even with that threat of Malik Willis at quarterback, like, some people were spamming the comments on Tuesday's video saying, like, no, dude, you're betting Malik Willis. Like, no, it's either going to be Levis or Tannehill, unless someone has saw some new news that I haven't seen. And the Seahawks team's been disappointing for me this whole year. Like, I honestly felt like the Seahawks team was more ready to go, and mostly because the defense, like, listen, we knew the offensive line was going to have its issues. We know Geno Smith wasn't going to have a great season like the first 8 games last year. Like, we knew all that. But the Seahawks defense has been pretty poor at times, especially the secondary. And I don't think this Titans team has quit yet. And if the Titans can run the ball, they can move the ball. We know that. And even though Levis completely shut down in that second half, I do like some of the things I'm seeing from him. I do like the moxie I'm seeing from him. And I think that game's going to be an absolute grinder. And like I said, like, look at the slate last week. Look at the slate last week. I think home field advantage means a lot in this time period. Like, you guys know, I'm normally the guy, I'll fade home field advantage. I'll use those points they add on in our favor. But at this time of the year, I like it. And look at the slate last week. The home field advantage was fucking huge. And I think it'll be huge again. The Steelers won, man. I felt like we made our money already. I know you just got on Patreon. Like, we made our money, like, with the Packers game. That was one of the college fund backs when the Steelers played the Packers. And we did hit some other Steelers one, like Browning's first start. And I do like the Steelers to cover. That's just one I don't want to attack, though. And I don't know if I want you attacking. And Pickett's ruled out. We're getting Mason Rudolph, and Mason Rudolph is bad. I don't know if he's worse than Trubisky at this point. I just can't go the Steelers, man. It's just for your, like, mental health, man. Because either way, you know that's going to be a grinder. And I've been saying all year, even though we had that purple patch back in the Steelers, I feel like the Steelers defense is overrated. Like, when Pat Peterson's your best corner, I get worried. And I feel like you can throw the ball against them. And Jamar Chase is out. I would hammer. The one thing I like in that Steelers-Bengals game is T. Higgins player props. Whatever they are, go over. I do like that. But like I said, I'm not disagreeing with your fundamentals. Heinz Field, Steelers, it's fucking December. Mike Tomlin, like, I get it. It's just, yeah, man. A lot of people were saying last week when we picked the Colts, like, no, this is Mike Tomlin game. This is Mike Tomlin game. Yeah, man. It's a complicated game, man. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Hope everyone is doing great tonight. Well, yeah, but 1777, we just did the data. It's pretty much a 50-50 split. I know a lot of people are late bettors. I know a lot of the casuals are late bettors Sunday morning and all that. But the people who matter, who bet Tuesday, Monday, Friday, seems like we got a pretty even split there. Okay, here we go. Big Al, thoughts on this 10-point teaser? Bills -2.5. I like that. Colts plus 12.5. I like that. No names, Jets under 47. Okay, let me think. Thank you and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Big Al. Okay, let me do the math in my head. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Going with the Jets and no names under 47 on the teaser is a little bit, how can I say it? I like it, man. I like it. And I can't see this Jets offense doing much. Like, even if this Jets defense has a big day and they get a pick six, they force 3 or 4 turnovers off Sam Howell, I can't see it. And if we get Sam Howell, I like it. Just make sure before the game we're not getting Jacoby Brissett. Even though I still think it would go under with Jacoby Brissett, it's just you don't want to take any sort of risk. But I do like I do like mixing the Bills, Colts on that. I like that science there. I might actually have to tell that one. Busy Gal, Merry Christmas to you and your family. Let's get this money for Christmas. Thank you, Busy. Thank you. Big week coming up, man. Big week coming up. It's Ducky Racing. Hey, Lawson, on the Pat McAfee show today. I haven't watched Pat the last month, but yeah, that is a really good show for the background. Hey, Lawson, on the Pat McAfee show today, Mike Lombardi dropped a bombshell that Kyle Shanahan is 1-37 when trailing by 7 points going into the fourth quarter, and 3-40 when trailing by 3 points or less going into the fourth quarter. Do you think the Ravens can take a lead into the fourth quarter? Ducky, that's kind of fucking crazy. Lambo sometimes bullshits. Like, I respect Lambo, and during the offseason, I do like his podcast. Sometimes he does bullshit, though. Are you guys buying that? Let me just repeat this to you guys. Kyle Shanahan is 1-37 when trailing by 7 points going into the fourth quarter, and 3-40 when trailing by 3 points or less going into the fourth quarter. Well, I do think the Ravens can have the lead, but I'm sticking with the 49ers, and I think they win and cover. And I think the 49ers are the better team, and I think they're almost machine-like. And here's what it comes down to, man. If this 49ers defensive line plays disciplined, smart football, and they stay in their rush lanes, I think they can stop the Ravens a lot. And also, I do think this will be a little bit more of a grinder than people expect. Like, I know Purdy's been slinging it around. Like, I know McCaffrey and Lamar Jackson are making huge plays every single week. But I think this is going to be a grinder. Like, I've really liked the under all week, and I do think it's going to be a grinder. And maybe that's because he had Jimmy G as his quarterback, why he's so bad going into the fourth quarter. But I'm really surprised about that. I don't know what you guys think of that in the chat, though. I want to see what everyone thinks, man. I gotta check the chat on that. I mean, this Ravens defense has been really surprising this year. Like, that's one thing that has surprised me. Like, listen, I thought they'd be a good unit, but they've been dominant at times. Like, I got to give them full credit, man. Yeah, but Ravens have to get the lead. That's the big problem with that. Yeah, Purdy does. I do want to see what happens if this is a tight game in the fourth quarter and the Ravens start sending blitzes at Purdy. If the Ravens get the lead, we know the Ravens are really good at sending blitzes, and I want to see if Purdy gets confused. That's a big part of this game. I mean, but one thing we know with the 49ers, they have great scripted plays. Their first 3 or 4 drives, Shanahan has mapped out really well. So we know in this Purdy-Shanahan relationship, they usually start off with the lead. And that defense is fucking good. That's one reason why I don't have any interest in betting it. I have no interest in betting that game. Good question, Ducky. Don't panic, RS. Why don't we attack the player props more? Shout out to Tyler Higbee last night. I hope some of you guys on Patreon back me. Bookies are making lines sharper by the week, and you have one of the best football minds out there. I agree. It's just, well, thank you. Firstly, thank you. The props, I like doing the props during the playoffs because we have less games to focus on, and I feel like I can find mistakes. I have been noticing the props. They are making less mistakes than they did when we started doing it 3-4 years ago. One reason why I've never really gotten into the props as much as other people is because it's like connected with the daily fantasy, the 6-7 in-game parlay that has like a 2% chance of hitting. If we're betting prop straight up, like last night with Higbee, I'm with it. I'm down with it. It's just with props, I go hard on bets, man. And we went really hard on 3 bets this year. I told you. College fun games, whatever methodology, whatever verb you want to use or noun to describe them. We went big, huge on 3 games this year. We were 2-0 with a push. It's just with player props, there's a lot. Listen, man, with player props, you can be fucking 15-2 one week and 2-13 the next. Can people deal with that? Can people budget their money to plan for that, even though they know they'll be up ahead at 60% at the end of the year? From my experience in this betting world, from me dipping my toes, watching people do it, no, they can't. They crumble. They crumble after one bad week. Then they get on tilt and they force props. But we'll go. I'll be posting more props during the playoffs, man. I used to always love posting props for the Thursday night games. I just stopped this year because, firstly, like those Thursday night games, like I never really wanted you guys to bet them. Like you look at the Tuesday videos for Thursday night games. I've been slamming them all year, but I take absolutely no credit for that because I find those games cancer to bet. I do think player props are a better option to bet things like Thursday night games. And I do think in playoff games, when we have a lot of information, I do think the props are fun, man. So I will do it. I will do it. I will do a video during the playoffs too. Because I feel like with the playoffs, it's easier. And we have so much shit to discuss when we got the 16 games every week. Anyways, good question. Don't panic. This is from Quet. I'm leaning towards these plays. Anyone want to talk me out? Miami over Dallas. I don't. I respect your gusto on that, my man. Detroit over Minnesota. I'm not talking you out. Denver over New England. What's Denver at New England at right now? What are we at on Denver, New England? Is it still at 6? It's at 7 now? Oh. And it's supposed to snow in Denver, right? Help me out, chat. Because I saw that weather report earlier this week, and it was saying like, maybe like 10, 15%, because I did over-unders on Wednesday. Yeah. Yeah, the DraftKings lull. I see you guys talking about that with player props. Yeah. We tried to put in a player prop when we were live betting on YouTube, and yeah, they fuck around, man, with that shit. They fuck around with it now. No, Charlie, snow has a huge impact. No. Snow has a fucking huge impact. Snow has a huge fucking impact. The surface of the field has a huge impact. Why were we able to pluck the Panthers last week against the Falcons? Because the Panthers somehow got better? It wasn't snowing, but the surface was affected. I saw a good Titans team with Vince Young go to Foxborough and lose 52-0. before when it snowed. Like, dude, the snow has a fucking effect, man. It has a big effect. And it has a big effect on defenses as well. Because the footing, man, because you're reacting. And then we know Mile High is a grass surface. So I do think the over's in play that game, even with both of those offenses being shit. I do think the snow plays a big role, man. We just haven't gotten one of those situations this year. And like I do agree, like wind has a huge impact. It does, man. But yeah, I feel like snow helps the Patriots. I just feel like snow helps the Patriots. Like, and we've seen many times where teams didn't prepare properly for it. Especially when I've seen teams go into Buffalo and they just didn't prepare properly for the elements, and it snows, then they get fucked, and then they don't have the right footwear, and then you got defensive backs using like 6-7 different pairs of cleats, and then by the time you look at the scoreboard, you're just fucked. No, Charlie, I respect the opinion, man. Like, I don't think it should matter as much as it has. No, I respect the opinion. I completely fucking respect it. And I think probably you're right that wind is a bigger factor than snow. I think you're right on that. But, man, I just feel like the snow helps the Patriots. Like, there is no fucking science. And I don't want to be one of those boomers who goes back when Brady played in snow, the Patriots won by 50 points. Like, I don't want to do that. Okay, here we go. I would just lay off the Denver one. I like the first two ones. Tampa Bay over Jags if Lawrence is out. Yeah, I feel like they're even though. Listen, and Jose, I see you in the live chat. Congratulations on your Tampa Bay bet last week. I was really happy with that. I was really happy you hit it. If I played any role in that, I appreciate it. The Tampa Bay over Jacksonville one, I like it, and I've been liking it all week. I just don't want to get caught with our fucking pants down. And if Lawrence is out, what's that 2.5 going to move to? And I don't know about you guys. Let me just throw this out to the chat. Don't you feel like Vegas has been hedging that Lawrence isn't going to play the whole week? And then also I was bitching about the concussion protocol being different for quarterbacks. So there is a way you can get caught with your pants down. The rule for every other position is you get the concussion, you miss the next game, you're back in after a week out. But for quarterbacks, they've bended the rules this year. Cleveland over Houston if Stroud is out. Yeah. I agree. Keenum played decent at times last week, but I agree. I can't do Cleveland anymore, man. I feel like we've sucked that line for as much juice as we could get, but maybe I'll change my mind. Pittsburgh over Cincinnati is my upset pick. I get the fundamentals. I like the first two. I like the Tampa Bay. Kind of like the Tampa Bay, even if Lawrence plays, because we might be able to get plus points. And I'm not getting excited about Tampa Bay, because they played good against the Packers. Like, I'm not going to even do that. But I do feel like this Jags team has serious flaws. And I feel like their defense plays down to opposition. And that pass rush, they've invested so much fucking money for the pass rush. What does it really have to show? Like, what have we seen that has improved? Have they ever been dominant? Anyway, good luck this week, man. I really like the first two. I really like Detroit over Minnesota. Wahid the Great, best 2-team money line parlay. Am I crazy to do this? Chargers, Patriots. Wahid, you're crazy on the Chargers. You're crazy, but I don't know. I think I'd rather replace if you're going to go crazy, long shots, because this is the time of the year for long shots. Fucking why not substitute the good old Michael Mann's Panthers in for the Chargers and go Patriots money line? Why not? Why not? Like, this Packers team, it's Jordan Love on the road. Anything can fucking happen. Jeremy will, but I'll give you a 2-team money line parlay tonight once I do it. So let me think, man. We've been hitting them this year for you, so we'll do it again, man. We'll do it again. Jeremy Wheel, Steelers probably best bet this week, or the Browns. Ballsy, yes. I don't know, man. That Browns game last week took years off my life. I was really happy. A lot of you guys got it at 2.5. But that Browns game last week, the Browns this whole year, they've taken at least 5 years off my life. And I've been doing good this season. I've been having a fun time this year. But yeah, man. And I get the fundamentals of the Steelers, and I think home field's big this week. Dicko, Merry Christmas, John, to you and your family. Thanks for all your hard work during the year. Let's get this week 16 money. Let's go, Dicko. KC Lee, thoughts on taking the Cardinals +4 against the Bears? I like it. Unless the weather's changed. I've been checking when I did the picks on Tuesday. The one thing I looked towards was weather. And it seems like we got good weather. I think it's going to be like 45. I saw like 10 to 12 wind gusts. Can someone else fill me in on the live chat? And this Justin Fields is playing really poor. And I don't think we can dismiss it. And I know some will say, oh, it's the Browns at home. What do you expect? No, he's been poor this whole year, man. Remember how bad he was against the Vikings? And I know Fields is going to play at home, but outside of 3 passes, Fields was rather poor against the Lions as well. And the Lions lost that game not because Fields was good. It's because the Lions made mistakes. And I do think the Bears are going to run the ball really well. And I think that's the only worry, but I like the Cardinals. And also, we didn't see the scrambles out of Justin Fields last week like we did before. And I think that's a concern. And I think this Cardinals offense can move the ball. Like, listen, I give respect to this Bears defense, credit to them. They've been playing some good ball, and I don't want to take anything away. But I do feel like every single week, Kyler Murray is getting better. Like, I don't know if the chat agrees with me or not, but I like the Cardinals matchup, man, and I like the 4, and I think it's good fundamentals. I don't like betting the Cardinals on the road, but I don't know about you guys, but I don't think this Cardinals team has quit. Yeah, I don't. St. Nicholas, yo, Merry Christmas, fam. Let's get this money. I'm loving the Colts this week. I feel like they're more motivated, and Arthur Smith is a nincompoop. Yeah, St. Nicholas, no contrary opinion to me. Jonathan Taylor, great anytime touchdown prop this week. I agree. Is Zach Moss out? The only thing you worry about is Zach Moss stealing touches in the goal line. The Falcons have been really good against the run this year, but I do think they're starting to wear down. They got old players like Grady Jarrett, Calais Campbell. I do feel like this is the type of time of the year where they wear down. So I like the methodology. Skippy V, Merry Christmas, John. Please help. I need 3 guaranteed games for Sunday. We've had 3 guaranteed games the whole year where we go college fun on. We're not going to get 3 a week, although 2 did come in the same week. We're 2-0 with a push. I can't give you any college fun games this week. They're going to be sweaters, and you're going to have to manage your money properly. But yeah, man, I probably will have 4 bets up. Game. Okay, now, John, please help. I need 3 guaranteed games for Sunday so I can buy the kids some last-minute gifts. Please be my Santa. That's a lot of fucking pressure, man. It's a lot of fucking pressure. But I'm feeling good about this week. It's just 3 guaranteed ones. Like, nothing's guaranteed in this league. But yeah, man, I'm feeling good about this week. So let's see what comes from it. St. Nicholas got the Seahawks, Jags, Browns on a 6-point teaser. Don't know what you can get it at now, but still probably worth firing up. Yeah, well, I like all those games because the point totals are low, man. Chai Yang, Browns -2.5. CJ is out. I like the Browns, man. I like the Browns. It's the only thing I'm changing from Tuesday because obviously I didn't have the information. But yeah, give me the Browns. Give me the Browns, Chai Yang. Nice to see you, Chai. Okay, let's see if I got any more questions. Then we'll get some guests on. We'll get Michael Mann on and Lauren on if they're in the building. I think I saw Michael Mann. I don't know if I saw Lauren. So I was asking the chat for a lot of stuff. I didn't even get to check the chat. Coach Mike D, what's up, John? Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Mike D. What's up, Ron? Stroud officially ruled out. Lawrence is hopeful, I guess. Crew 60 49ers going to get past Ravens. Where do you rate this cover? I don't rate it high. I just don't like the 5.5. Like, I just don't like the 5.5 in this situation. Gun to my head, I'm going 49ers winning the cover. I also don't like the 5.5 because we know that opens you up to garbage time points, which can always happen. Yeah, here we go, man. So, Kron Borkwin, thanks for making Christmas awesome, Lawson. I appreciate it, Ron. We're crushing teasers lately. Any good 3-team, 6-point teaser thoughts? Hope you and your family have a great Christmas. Off the top of my head, Ron, give me the Colts. Let's bring that up to 7.5. What is it? We can bring that up to 8.5. Give me the Colts. I'm going to look at this. So 16 teasers. So give me the Colts. Let me bring the Cards up. We bring them up to 10. I feel comfortable with. And then we can't do that. We can't do that. Okay. Man, and then let's bring the Lions down. I get why some people want to bring the Cowboys up to 7.5. You do worry about them getting steamrolled. You do worry about a blowout happening in that game. $20 super chat from Brian Webb. Let's get this money. What's up, Brian? And it was fun live betting with you. How about your Bengals, man? How about your fucking Bengals? And Nick Mullins, 2 quarterback sneaks. Brian Webb sends a $20 super chat. I thank you, my man. Let's get this money. And yes, Lawson, Thursday picks, you've been on the money. A Merry Christmas to you and your family down. Now down to business. How do you feel about the Browns, Seahawks, Packers, Lions? I love my Bengals and Ravens. Am I the only one who wants to stay off that Bengals-Steelers game? I don't know about this chat. But am I the only one who wants to stay off that game? Because, like, I get Heinz Field is a difficult place to play. I just think the Steelers' defense was really overrated, and I take a lot of heat about that every time I say it this year. But I really do. I really do think they're an overrated unit, and I think Minshew finally cemented that last week. I'm not going to talk you off your Bengals, but I would talk you off your Ravens. This Ravens defense is really good, but I do wonder if they can stop the 49ers run game. That's really the only concern. Like, if you tell me Ravens stop the run game, then I think it's going to be close. Like, I don't think there's going to be that many points in this game. Which you might say, oh, let's go 5.5. I just don't think the Ravens are going to get those explosive plays. Ravens rely on 3 or 4 big explosive plays every game, and I'm not sure they get them. And I really trust the San Fran front seven, and I think they can keep Lamar Jackson in the pocket. So I'll talk you off it there. With the Packers, Jordan Love on the road. A Packers team, I know they can still get in the fucking playoffs, but how much do they really have to play for? And you could say the same thing about the Panthers, but I don't know if we can bet the Packers this week. And I don't know if we want to. Lions, I love the Lions. Like, if you give me that one, that's the one I like the most. I absolutely love the Lions. And I think we're going to see Jaren Hall, man. And let's look at backup quarterbacks and let's look at Nick Mullins. Now, the reason why I like the Lions the best out of that list is because let's look at Dobbs when he went to Minnesota. You remember those first two games? He came in third quarter against Atlanta, and then he killed it the next game. With backup quarterbacks, it seems like their initial spark is the best you're going to get. And when you got guys like Nick Mullins and Josh Dobbs, they're in that tier for a reason. And they're just going to get worse. Like, honestly, even though my Vikings can still get to the playoffs and we all have that competitive spirit, I do want to see Jaren Hall. And I do think Nick Mullins is going to play terrible. And I'm worried about this Lions defense. I like the under in the Lions-Vikings game a lot too. And I do think this Vikings defense is a bad matchup for Goff. I just don't know how much my Vikings are going to be able to do on offense. And I think this Lions defense will be prepared for Nick Mullins. I like the Browns. I wish I was really worried last week. They couldn't run it at all against the Bears. Joe Petonio went out like the second or third drive. They couldn't fucking run it at all. And the thing with betting the Browns, just prepare. You're going to get critical errors. They make 6 or 7 critical errors. They're like the Bill Callahan Raiders from years before. The amount of critical errors they make a game is mind-blowing. And as someone who's bet them a lot this year, you better buckle in, my friend. It's going to be a long fucking afternoon whether you win or don't. I can't think of anything more excruciating than holding a Browns ticket, even if you fucking win. And the Seahawks, like, I get why people like the Seahawks. I'm just not that excited about that. Like, the two ones I would target out of that list are Browns, Lions, even with what me saying. So I appreciate you, Brian. Don't forget to mention Tommy Cutlets. Yeah, like, that's a good example. And plus, they can't protect them. And we know this Vikings offensive line, it's sketchy, man. It's sketchy. Even at its best. Even when you got Darisaw and O'Neal both in there, they haven't been great protection-wise this year. Yeah, man, the Browns games have been just absolute brutal. It's just absolute brutality. Absolute brutality. Like I've had less stress this year than last year, but I got to tell you, man, these fucking Browns games are fucking killing your boy, man. They are. They are, man. They're fucking killing me. Like, remember when we almost bet the Lions every single week last year, like we did with the Dolphins this year? And we bet the Lions a lot this year. But you remember last year, every single Lions game came down to like the last play. I didn't have even close to the stress that I do with this fucking Browns team. I don't know how many people actually watch these full Browns games, but sometimes I am thunderstruck by the amount of critical errors they make. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Brian, man. Brian, I hope your family has a great Christmas and a great New Year's. Oh, are we betting the farm on the boys? I can't do it, man. I can't do it. The 9-5 against the spread with Miami has been great. And I think it goes to 10-5. And also, the thing about that game, I'm going to get Lauren and Mike on. Yeah, Hound. I'm going to get Lauren and Mike down. We'll talk more about that game. We'll go deep on it, man. Yeah, Brian Robertson. Can I imagine what you fucking felt? Because I know a lot of people on Patreon, they put the bets in Sunday morning, so they got it at 2.5. Can you imagine? And I told them it was a college fun game. I was really clear all week, really clear. The same as when we had the Niners in Pittsburgh, like week 11. I was really fucking clear. This is the weekend. This one game, and just the amount of torture we received that game, I don't think people understand. Dude, and it's just these errors from the Browns, man. I don't even have vocabulary for it. Whether it's a pick six or Joe Flacco throwing 2 damn near pick sixes, or whether it was earlier in the year, every single time the Browns are on 4th and inches, they just need a quarterback sneak, false start. They'll send an all-out blitz in the A-gap. They're crushing the Steelers. They're winning like 10-3. Steelers can't get a first down. We're holding the Browns minus 1.5 with DTR. Browns are controlling the game up like 10-3. Send all-out blitz to the A-gap. Jalen Warren gets like a 70-yard carry. Steelers didn't get a first down the rest of the fucking day, and we had to sweat that one out. It's been bad, man. It's been bad, and I know we're up on them this year, and I get that. That's part of what we sign up for. Like, it's kind of like a soldier complaining because he hears shells in the background, or he doesn't like hearing jets take off or helicopters. But, man, it's just been grueling, and I don't mean to bitch about it, but Browns have been absolutely grueling. All right, we're going to get Lauren and Mike on it. Let's see if my internet fucking loads, man. Because my wife's doing like an online class. So whenever my internet is just fucking shit, man. Okay, it loaded up. Antonio, thank you for joining on Patreon. Appreciate it, my God. KG with the $10 super chat. Thank you, my man. I really appreciate it. Oh, Jose, thank you, KG, for the $10 super chat, man. I haven't seen you in the live chat before, bro. Always good. Always great to hear from you guys, man. Jose Villagomez sends $50, man. How much did you bet? How much did you bet on? How much did you bet on the Bucs last week? With the $50 super chat you're splashing around, I'm guessing probably like $700. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Thoughts on the Packers -4? KG, what's your name on Patreon, KG? What's your name, man? Because, dude, remember when YouTube made everyone change their fucking names, and a lot of people have like user XXX and all that? Like, I have a really good photographic memory, and I can remember names. Charlie Chips. Okay. Jose Villagomez. Thoughts on Packers -4? I can't do it, man. Aren't you a little bit scared out of what you saw? I'm sure because you bet the Bucs game last week. I'm sure you ended up watching that, right? Like, I'm sure you ended up watching the full game. That Packers defense, I feel like this Packers team's playing without will. And I don't mean it's just make lazy narrative points like that, but I do feel like they're playing rather lackluster and without a lot of fight. And Jordan Love on the road has been an absolute disaster this year. We know the Panthers absolutely suck. Bryce Young is heading on a fast speed train to being a boss. I get it. But I'm going fundamentals here. I'm going home team. Give me the points with the home team. And it does seem like this Panthers defense has been playing good ball. Although, stopping Desmond Ridder doesn't really prove that much. But this Panthers defense put up a way harder fight than this Packers defense did against the Bucs. And we know that doesn't make a difference. It's just one example of why I'm really worried about the Packers. if you really are high on the Packers, I would say do it. But I am, and like, man, like the Packers have played their best football in Lambeau. The last time the Packers were on the road, didn't Tommy Cutlets or whatever they're calling him, Tommy DeVito, whip their ass? It's concerning, man. It's concerning. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you made some money. No, thank you. I made some good money with you on the Miami hits. Yeah, man. Miami and Lions have been printing money for us, man. Yeah, dude, I do look like crap, Mom. I do. Listen, does anyone wear this for style? Does anyone wear this for style? You know, like when I used to go to Bills games, everyone used to wear, what are those sweatpants? They're like not even just like regular straight sweatpants. Like they got like stripes on them, and like they got like almost like fucking pinstripes of like the Bills. Just imagine that. Like, yeah, this is like something you buy at like a NASCAR booth. But yeah, man, we got to rep the Dolphins. Yeah, Lauren, we're sending you the invite. Yeah, we got to go into that game. So let me just. I'm gonna send the link to both you guys. I'm gonna send the link to both you guys at the same time, because let's see if the internet holds up. I might need to go off stream. Let's see. Okay, and I gotta use the bathroom. Okay, 1 second. Zubas. Thank you, Lomar. Thank you. They're fucking hideous, man. Or balloon pants. Like they're like kind of like a mix of like pajamas and balloon pants. Jesus, they're hideous, man. Okay, sending the link now. I gotta just use the bathroom really quick. I'll be right back. Okay, so it needs to get to you guys. All right, so I sent the link. I'll be right back. Okay, well, let's go. Okay. Let's see, man. Yeah, let me know on Patreon. Yeah, don't say it right now. Don't say it now. I'm glad your wife is a fan. Yeah, Lauren, I sent the link. Yeah, Zupas, yeah. Jesus. Internet let us down. We don't want to hear about these Saints. Yeah. We're good on the Saints talk. We all had to sit through that last night. And I don't know about you guys, but do you guys see everyone getting excited about the Rams now? Like they're saying like the generic statements like you don't want to play the Rams in the playoffs. You don't want to see them. Like, okay, like that type of junk is just listen, like every single playoff game any team can lose in this league. It's just I just hate hearing that junk. Like, I'm sure you guys will be hearing a lot of it. Like now we're hearing the Bills are going to make this fucking Super Bowl because they beat Dallas. Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Why is it? Did I have it on a different setting before? One
Not
second.
bad. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. We can hear you good, so we're good. And my internet might be a little bit slow, so just bear with me.
Yeah, my service is gonna be terrible right now.
Bro, they're throttling the show. They're throttling the internet. Yeah, so what do you guys want to talk about?
We lost Mike.
Oh, Michael Mann left. So yeah, Lauren. So let's.
I joined so late. I joined so late. I'm not sure what you went over. I was getting my nails done. Sorry, my toes.
But we didn't talk about one game. We didn't talk about enough was like the Cardinals Bears game.
Okay, I got a lot to say about that game.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I'm all over the Cardinals. You're gonna listen. Chicago is a dog. Okay, I did a couple weeks ago. Worked out fine. But you're going to ask Eberflus to do something he's never done before, cover as a favorite? Not one time ever? Against a team that doesn't quit? You know, Kyler Murray's a mobile quarterback. I guess you could make the argument that they faced Patrick Mahomes, which is a mobile quarterback, but they really haven't faced anybody that can get out of the pocket and scramble and run like Kyler. And, that team has got heart. When Kyler came back, they have a rejuvenated life. Sometimes people forget that at the end of the year, these guys are still playing for jobs. A lot of these players, they're still playing they're not just giving up. Like they're playing for jobs. They're playing for, spots next year, whatever the case may be. So
especially on the Cardinals, like if you look at their roster, I think they probably have the most. And listen, I get so tired of the tanking shit. Like this isn't.
Yeah, I don't like hearing that shit.
Lauren, could you imagine tanking in the NFL? Like, and you get physically beaten. Like, how do you tank in the NFL? Like, that's one thing I never really understood. And it doesn't work. No one's ever fully tanked. You just put a bad quarterback in, and they got Kyler Murray. So, and I do think he's going to get better. Like, I was a little bit disappointed in some games from him, like that Rams one. Didn't like it, but I do think they'll be able to move the ball. So,
well, the defense has been doing something they haven't really been doing all year, and they're actually like forcing turnovers. Arizona, which, for the first time ever. They had a pick 6 last week against Purdy. So Fields can turn the ball over. We know that.
Well, last week he probably should have thrown like 3, and just the Browns didn't make a play. And I do think Fields is playing really bad. I don't know if it's getting enough coverage. Like I know everyone saw that Minnesota game. But like I said, like even against the Lions, he wasn't all that good. He was terrible against the Browns, and I'm not even seeing him scramble anymore. So, and like you said, like I also think this is open to the backdoor cover. I think it's pretty.
I've got Arizona winning on the field.
Kind of think they'll win too. Did you look at the weather?
I don't see anything that looks disturbing to me for weather. I haven't checked again in some days, but I haven't seen anything that looks disturbing.
That's why I feel good about it. So that's why I feel good about
Murray. Murray is a road dog. Usually cashes. I'll say my money's on Arizona all day this weekend.
And 4's a lot because, like you said,
over a field goal.
They struggle on offense. They've struggled.
Oh yeah,
and I got to eat a little bit crow on Fields because he's getting worse, man. So yeah,
I mean, that's enough said there. Like I'm high on Arizona. It's one of my best bets of the week. It probably is my best bet this week.
Yeah, and it's a place people don't want to go, but I know everyone wants to go like attack like the Ravens 49ers game. I just don't think there's much for us to do there.
I mean, there's an argument for both sides on that game. There's a lot of arguments on both sides. And I might just have to be the person that enjoys the game and watches it and not have anything invested except for maybe some props.
That's what I'm saying. And because like you said, you can make good arguments for both sides. That's how you know it's a 50-50 split. They did a good job and you just move on. And people want to pound those games. Like, are you going with Ravens or 49ers just to get it out of the way?
Yeah. I mean, if I had a gun to my head, I'm going to take San Fran.
Same here.
But I could also tease Baltimore and go that route. You know what I'm saying? So, if you and I wouldn't be opposed to even taking Baltimore with 5.5 points. You know, but here's the thing: one-legged Trevor Lawrence, I mean, was in that game. That score was very deceiving. Okay, that Jacksonville Baltimore. That score was very deceiving. So you have one-legged Trevor Lawrence, if they scored when they got in the red zone, you know what I mean? Things might have been a little bit different. So I can't really see them going cross country and upsetting San Fran. Can I see them coming within 5.5? Yeah. I could see them coming within a field goal. I could make an argument for that, but I could also see San Francisco beating the shit out of them.
Same here. Are you nervous about the Colts?
The Colts? Oh, Atlanta?
Yeah.
I mean, there's such. Are we starting Heineke this week?
Yeah.
Okay. It's an upgrade, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I know, but
it's just like what we've seen this year when Heineke got a chance to play against Zona.
It was terrible.
Better at times, but the turnovers are still there, and that's the problem.
The turnovers are still there. A lot of people are on Atlanta. They're saying to fade the Colts because of their performance last week. I think if Jonathan, here's the problem though. There's no Michael Pittman this week, right?
He's playing. He got cleared today.
Oh, he is
surprised.
playing?
I was surprised. Everyone was surprised about it.
Oh, okay. So I missed that. I've been out of pocket today. All right. So today was my first day of vacation. So I've been doing other things. Okay. So Michael Pittman is playing. I'm on Indy.
Yeah. And also one thing about Indianapolis, I got to go with Shane Steichen here.
Over Arthur Smith all day. Kudos to Steichen. Yeah, I'm taking it. Yeah, absolutely. I can't, and that's part of the reason. This is part of the reason why I can't be on the Steelers with you guys. I cannot understand. This team is so anemic on offense, and they can't score. They can't get out of the teams. Everybody and their mother is on the Steelers this week that I talked to, and I don't see it. Somebody give me a reason to take why the history. Tomlin this never had a losing season. You know what I mean? Great. Okay, wonderful. We're now down to Mason Rudolph. Okay, we've been Pickett's hurt. He's out still. We've been through Trubinsky, who was a number 1 pick at one time in the draft, or 3 or whatever the hell he was. We've been through him. That didn't work. Now we're down to Mason Rudolph. Now I realize that the Bengals are on their backup, but their backup is good. So I understand that you guys have these fundamentals and these reasons for the history reasons and off a loss, off of this, off of that, and the record shows as a dog 21-11 and all the stats that I'm hearing. And guys, let's be honest, streaks are made to be broken, right? So all I'm saying here is, here's one I got written down. Tomlin, 55-31, ATS as a dog, 17
Oh,
and
that shit's
6 as a home
garbage.
dog.
Just throw it
As a
out.
home dog off a loss, 21-11. I don't give a shit. Like
No,
I
it
can't.
doesn't matter. Like, I hate that shit, Lauren.
Yeah, I can't
Like,
see this. The team can't score. Like I just don't. You know what I mean? You've got like I understand there's no Jamar Chase this week. I get it. But there's this. There's a lot of other weapons in Cincinnati that you can use. T. Higgins is there. Tyler Boyd is there. What's the other guy's name? Something I like Igazu or something like that. He threw to him like 5 times last week. The tight ends are there. Joe Mixon is catching balls. The other running back is impressive right now in Cincinnati. The backup kid, he has been making plays. And Browning is not a bad, like, he's not bad. And they're saying, oh well, Pittsburgh torched him it was his first game ever.
Well, they got him pretty good. They got him
yeah,
pretty good.
right. But I mean, do we and these teams usually split, right? So
yeah,
do we really think that Pittsburgh, who I listen, I understand why people say with what they've got to work, this, that, and the other, but I couldn't be on them a couple weeks ago, and I said the same thing. I said, you're asking against Arizona. They were laying points against Arizona. And you guys, a lot of people were like, oh, well, Pittsburgh is going to... Arizona beat the shit out of them. And they were like a 10-point underdog or whatever the hell it was. 7 points, 6 points.
It was 6.5. And yeah, it was pretty much the same thing. The Steelers laying points. This one, I do think it's because Steelers are +3 this game. But yeah, the Cardinals won.
I got it at +2, but is it up to? It's already up to 3.
Yeah, and on some books, it's like +2.5, +3. But yeah, pretty much it's just because we were able to like get lucky shit like with the Steelers +4 against the Ravens earlier this year. But man, like you said, they were a lot
different
better
team
earlier in the year.
Kenny Pickett, I know that he's not great, but he's the starter for a reason. We're down to Mason Rudolph. Like,
yeah, and here's the issue. Like, I don't know if you saw this stuff with George Pickens this week, but there was a play on the goal line.
He didn't block.
Like so like I do feel like they're kind of losing that locker room, and once you lose that, it's all about grinding out games. Like, I like Mike Tomlin to grind out games, but like you said, they're probably not going to get the better quarterback play. And then also, like, listen, I know the Bengals defense is vulnerable, but also the reason why I want people not to bet this game is like, I feel like the Steelers secondary is ass, by the way. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
And Browning chucks that ball all over. You don't know who he's throwing it to. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of opportunity for him to throw to. There's a lot of people he can throw to. Just because Jamar Chase is out, I know that Minnesota won games without Justin Jefferson. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Just because he's out doesn't mean that you don't have like a next, you know what I mean? There's still T. Higgins, who's going to, who on any other team might be a number 1. There's still Tyler Boyd. There's still all of the tight ends. There's still going to be, you will see other people. You know what I'm saying? You didn't even see Calvin Ridley do a damn thing until like week 10. And Jacksonville was winning their ass off. So I'm just saying, like, I can't get on this Pittsburgh. They burned me too. They were ahead against Indy. Okay. They were ahead by 10 and lost that game. Why? Because they can't score.
Well, and that's bad. It's bad for the defense too, for them to be able to get that lead. And then Minshew's just slanging it to like guys off the practice squad, Montgomery. Like, it's bad, man.
Yeah, I'm not falling for that bullshit. I'm not falling for this Pittsburgh crap because they're an underdog. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't give a crap. I'm not touching Pittsburgh this week. The Bengals have heart, and they're not quitting either.
Well, and here's why I don't
They're
want
still in
people
it.
and here's why I don't want people to bet the Steelers. When we were betting them in that little purple patch they had, they were running the ball really well. And they're just not even running it now.
They're not anymore. They're like, oh, Jalen Warren's going to run all. Now it's Najee Harris. Every week it's going to be someone different. And then neither one of them get over 50 yards. So I don't trust any of that shit. I just don't.
Any other games you like?
Listen, I know that you guys are all over Detroit, and I was too at one time. I went against them with Chicago. I got a little bit of a problem with Detroit this week. I have a little bit of an issue. I can see why, again, on both sides, but part of me wants to say that Justin Jefferson is back, right? And Minnesota hung with Cincy last week. They really did. They hung.
Well,
That was
that. They should have. It's not that impressive though.
Well, they let Cincy come back is really what happened. So Minnesota's defense is pretty respectable for the most part. One thing that I will say though is that you've got the guy, oh God, what is his name? That's got to cover Justin Jefferson on Detroit. That's not good. The guy, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on Detroit. Detroit's secondary is just dog shit.
No, it's bad. Detroit's defense is getting worse. I get it.
Really bad.
For me, the Vikings defense has been absolutely phenomenal. And I think this is a bad matchup for Goff. It's Nick Mullins. It's like it's going to be his third time playing. I don't think it's going to get any better. I think it's only going to keep getting worse. And you saw in that Bengals game, it got worse as the afternoon went on. And you're right though. Like this Detroit defense is vulnerable. And one thing that's worked against Goff a lot this year is just dropping 8 and taking away the middle of the field. And that's what the Vikings do a lot, or they send blitzes. It's just, I don't know, man. I think the Lions.
Cam Sutton. You got Cam Sutton that's got to shadow Justin Jefferson. Good luck with that. I mean, I don't see a recipe there. The other thing is too that I know it's Mullins. So Goff becomes harmed versus a blitz. Minnesota blitzes a lot. And I know that Detroit's kind of desperate right now. Or Minnesota's kind of desperate right now. But I think that he can still get the ball to Jefferson. He can get the ball to Addison. He can get the ball to Hawkinson. And if Kirk Cousins was still there, this would be a totally different situation. I know Mullins is hard to back but as a home dog,
-3.
Yeah, Mullins is kind of hard to back. I think that it's going to be a long day for Cam Sutton against Justin Jefferson. I can see the 3 in the hook scares me for Detroit. So Miami with the 3.
Now it's all at 3.
Yeah, I've got it at 3.5. So I don't think I'm ready to lay points with Detroit. Isn't the game in Minnesota?
Yeah.
On the road to a pretty decent defense. That's been doing pretty well. And if they blitz Jared Goff, he literally goes from ranked number 1 to 30. So
I'm concerned about Goff.
That makes me nervous. Minnesota's kind of desperate right now. They're very blitz heavy, like I said. It took 50 miracles for Cincinnati to win last week. against Minnesota. And Cincinnati's still,
But they
a
did
good
start
team.
figuring it out. Like, we remember the second half,
Mhm.
Cincinnati figured it out, and then they were blocking the blitzes, and then we saw what happened. Like, but yeah, there was a lot of miracles.
There was.
But one thing that's not a miracle is Nick Mullins throwing picks. Like, for me as a Vikings
Right.
fan, I want them to go Jaron Hall.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I know you're wanting to see that.
It's not going to be good.
Um,
He was terrible against Atlanta, but it's just like it's like watching Nick Mullins. But no, but like the thing that worries me most is like Detroit's defense should be able to play good this game, but they keep getting worse every week. And I don't know if like ramming the Broncos gets me excited. So, but yeah, man.
I mean, and you want to talk about like certain things, like I know that people are like, well, the Chiefs aren't covering. One team that they do have their number is the freaking Raiders. The Chiefs will beat them by more than 10. So I'm all on the Chiefs this week. I think that they can beat up on Aiden O'Connell again, even when they were down by 14 last time. This is a divisional game. They have to win. Like, this is a divisional game that they need to have. They're trying to secure, obviously, all the right spots and all the right numbers. And they've lost too many games, but this one's an important one because it's divisional. So I think Kansas City covers easily.
Aiden O'Connell's bad, man. So
I'll take Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Pacheco. I'll take all of them over, Aiden O'Connell. And just because they threw 61 points on top of a team, the Saints threw on 35 points against New England earlier. So what? So what? You know what I'm saying?
I'm worried about this Chiefs receiving core, though. Like, we've been talking about it since last year. Like, they are not getting better. But I also don't think the Raiders can put up points.
No,
I do think they're getting Josh Jacobs
anemic.
playing. Like, that was a question all week. Someone let me know in the chat if it's official. But yeah, man,
Is he playing?
He's gonna play. From what I read yesterday, but dude, these injuries, Lauren, they've been a mess this whole year. For instance, we should know for this Bucs Jags game if Lawrence is out of concussion protocol. Like, that should be something we should know. Like, it shouldn't be going down the fucking Friday night. Like, we can't even discuss that game. I don't know, man. It's just fucking non-congruent, man. Like, this concussion protocol. I've been bitching about it the whole year, but it sucks, man.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. Like, this makes me a little bit nervous. The wheels are kind of falling off of the Jags right now.
I agree. I even think I like the Bucs.
I know.
If Lawrence plays, I just want to see what we can get.
Yeah. Pickett is not back. Somebody said in the chat, I think Pickett's back. He's not. He's not back. He's already been ruled out from what I saw. Here's the thing. The wheels are literally falling off the Jags right now as we speak. And, Trevor Lawrence last week wasn't like, no one thought he was going to play. And then all of a sudden he did. And we saw, you're going to put him up against a team like Baltimore. I mean, that's great. But the wheels are really falling off of them and they need this game. Tampa had kind of like the game of their life. Baker Mayfield went into Lambeau and was just the only person that's had a perfect passer rating in Lambeau, aside from Aaron Rodgers, is Baker Mayfield. No. Kudos to him. But if Trevor Lawrence is playing, this is a huge difference. I'm not. Who's the backup there in Jacksonville? What the hell's his name? Yeah,
But he
no,
also has a hand injury. But I think he'll be good. He'll be the one starting.
I'm not laying a dime on CJ Beathard. Okay, so if we got CJ Beathard, then I'm on Tampa. If we have
Well,
Trevor,
because the one thing that's worrying me about the Jags, like how you said they look like they're kind of on a downfall, is firstly, worried about some of the red zone play calling. I've been worried about the play calling all year. We know what's going on with Peterson giving that to another guy. That's kind of been an issue this whole year. Etienne's been banged up the whole year. But anyways, worried about situational play calling, red zone. Secondly, I think this defense sucks ass, man. And it looks good on paper. But, Lord, have you ever seen them? I know they have like 1 or 2 games a year where they can rush the passer. But for all the money they spent, have you ever seen them like dominate a game up front? Like, remember, they pretty much have the same defense as last year. Remember when Matt Ryan put up like 450 on them? This defense sucks, man. And
Tampa literally needs to like win one game, I think, to like secure the NFC South. I'm pretty sure. So I don't know if it's going to be this one or what, but if Trevor Lawrence is playing, I'm highly worried about Tampa winning this game. If it's CJ Beathard, I will probably lay my next paycheck on Tampa.
But from what I think. So here's my interpretation of what the books are doing. So let's say like a good quarterback is 6 points. I think Mahomes is worth like 9, Rodgers in his prime 8, you get it. But a good quarterback like Lawrence, let's say 6 points. So I honestly think Vegas is hedging the bet that he's not going to play, because we saw that at 1.5 when it opened. Now today it's at 2.5. I think they know something. I think they know he's not playing. Like, for instance, let me do a hypothetical. So let's just use the 6 point. Lawrence could be worth more than 6 points, but who knows, man? So like let's say you get Bucs plus 3.5. Yeah, I don't know if I want to take the Jags in that situation either.
No, I don't. If the line moves to where Tampa's the underdog, then that's a totally different ball game. Totally different ball game. And I've got, did you guys talk about this Miami Dallas game already?
Yeah, but we want to talk about it.
What's everybody's opinion?
We're like about split, kind of.
Did like, everybody have Buffalo last week beating the shit out of Dallas like I did?
Most of the money was on Dallas. I don't know, man. God. I don't know, man. Like, but yeah,
Dallas does not travel well. They just don't. That team, they better pray to God they get a home playoff game or they're one and done.
I tend to agree.
Here's my issue with Dallas. And for probably the first time all year, I'm on Miami, which to cover as a favorite.
9-5 against the spread.
Against a good team, I should say. Against a good team. Against an above 500 team. Let's put it that way. They are the home team. Dallas plays a lot of man-to-man. And if Tyreek Hill is on that field, which do we know? I think he's had like his 7th baby of the year. I don't even know what's going on there. If Tyreek Hill is playing, which if somebody can confirm that, if you're playing man-to-man, all that is one pass to Tyreek Hill, and there goes a 100-yard touchdown right down the field. And listen, for a team that's supposed to be so good against the run, like Dallas, they've been giving up yards against the run left and right. They gave up 100 and something to James Cook last week. They gave up, for a team that's supposed to be able to stop the run, and you got Mostert and A-Chain, you got both of them. And now that Buffalo's kind of like breathing down their neck and they still got to play one more time, and Buffalo owns the first game against Miami. I'm actually on. I know a lot of people I talk to is on Dallas, but I am 17-1 off a loss. Mike McCarthy? I don't give a shit.
People buy into narratives too much. Like,
I don't give a shit.
The narrative, the Dolphins can't beat a good
They
team.
can't travel. That team can't travel to save their lives. I know that the conditions in Buffalo are obviously going to be a lot better than South Florida, right? Or a lot worse than South Florida, I should say. South Florida is going to give you a lot nicer conditions. But Miami plays well at home. They lost to Kansas City in Germany.
All those games were on the road.
They lost on the road to they're another team that's literally like good at home, and when they travel they have issues. And let's be honest,
they worry about it the way it's going. You want to know what? Let me just kind of stay on the same topic. You want to know one thing that is really kind of bothering me? Okay, Bills have one good game, and they run the ball against the Cowboys, and now everyone's saying, like, they're going to get out. They're going to Super Bowl. I got to say, that's one thing that really bothered me.
There's a path. There's a recipe for them to get in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, they're going to get in the playoffs. Although, like, if Houston can beat the Browns this week, I just assume they're going to get into the playoffs.
Well, I think so too. Well, there was like a month ago when we weren't sure that they were even going to make the playoffs. Now there's a huge recipe.
That extra wild card, it's how it goes, Lauren.
Yeah.
That extra wild card,
they're going to get in. They're going to get in, whether or not But that's a team they're riding high right now. So. A lot of people are taking Chargers with this 10 points, 12 points, or whatever. I don't know. I won't do it, but
I don't think we should be betting that game. Like,
not at all.
Like, the risk of that game is.
Listen, Eckler has.
I don't know about what you think, but for instance, I do think this Chargers defense has been poorly coached because I know you watched a lot of Chargers. Like, they don't even lose by like physical mistakes that much. For instance, that Miami game early in the year. That's just an example. Like, they blow coverages and they do a lot of that. I do wonder if they're going to get the new coach bounce.
I don't know about all that. I think that I do think Buffalo's got to like get in and get out. But Austin Eckler has zero incentive to play for. He's just wanting to stay healthy. They're barely even using him right now. They're using Spiller kid. Huh?
I think they have the worst rush game in the league. Don't quote me.
Yeah, they're using the Spiller kid now. Eckler's looking to go somewhere else to get a contract. He wants to stay healthy. There's no Keenan Allen this week. Like, you know what I'm saying? And we're down to, what is this kid's name? That he's the kid that's starting for them?
Yeah.
Easton. Okay. All right. So you've got no Justin Herbert, no Keenan Allen. Austin Eckler has been a skeleton on that team because he's looking to go somewhere else. So you're going to rely on Easton Stick, I guess Josh Palmer and Gerald Everett. I don't know. I mean, could they cover backdoor? The line was so big to start with. It's almost tempting to play, but now it's down to like 10 or 11 or 12. I don't know. It was at 14 or something when it came out, which was a little disturbing, but which you might have to jump on that. But at this point in time, I can't touch that one.
I don't want anyone back. And let's just get back to the Cowboys game. Listen, man, and I'm not trying to overhype the Dolphins too much because maybe this is.
I'm the least Dolphins hyper in the world. I just don't think Dallas. I think what I'm telling you right now is Dallas's run game is dog shit, and their defense has been slipping up quite a bit. They've been on the field too long, and Tyree, like I said, they play a lot of man-to-man, and you play man-to-man, and Tyreek Hill is just gone. Goodbye. See you later. There goes a 100-yard touchdown.
And I do think this Dolphins defense is getting better.
They are getting better.
I am excited about Jalen Ramsey. Now, Vic Fangio, we know he likes to just sit back. But, man, I just hope they put Jalen Ramsey on CD Lamb. And I do question Dallas options after that. And also, someone in the chat did call Dallas a bully. Like, listen, if Dallas gets up 10-0, we're fucked. Take it.
That's just it. They're not the Kansas City Chiefs. Right. So, like, if the Kansas City Chiefs are down 10-0, you have to worry about the underdog now even covering. Okay? So, really. So, if Dallas gets up 10-0, Miami will have a very hard time getting. Now, they're not a favorite by, even more than 1.5, I think it is. Is it pick 'em?
1.5.
Yeah, is it 1.5? Okay. So Miami just has to stay. They have to stay ahead. If they can stay ahead, then they'll have no problem. But Dallas just came off a very embarrassing loss too. So that's another thing that worries me. Well, they both did. They both came off of an embarrassing loss. So
Miami covered 30-0, but Miami's feeling it. It's the same thing. They're fucking feeling it. Like you saw Mike McDaniel this week. He was saying he's saying like what you said about them losing to the good teams is narratives.
Right. So here's the other thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to take Mike McDaniel over McCarthy.
I agree. And I do think like Big Mike, I do think people forgot the criticism. Like we criticized him a lot last year, and it just seems like people forget about it once you win games. Like remember when we were saying the Eagles looked like shit earlier in the season? And then they were covering, so like everyone's like, no, fuck you, like you're dumb. Like, but yeah, man, I like Mike McDaniel in this game.
I do like Mike McDaniel. I know the America's team. I'm gonna get all kind of the people are saying Miami hasn't beaten a team with a winning record since when? When has Dallas, aside from Philly?
Pretty much. And is that Philly win even looking all that great now?
Dallas lost to Arizona earlier this year. They got the shit beaten out of them by San Francisco. They got the shit beaten out of them by Bills. I mean, and when they lose, they lose. They don't just barely, they lose. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's never, they're never even in the game.
Remember that phase they had, like where they played the Rams? I think Stafford was hurt that game. And then they like were playing like shit. Like they got the Giants, they got the Commanders. That's when everyone started getting excited pretty much.
Oh, yeah. Kudos to you. You beat the freaking Commanders and the Giants. Wonderful. Congratulations. And you also, you lost to Philly once. You beat Philly once. Okay, great. San Francisco beat the living shit out of you. Okay? To the point where you guys looked like absolute dog shit ran over. And what happened last week? The Bills did the same thing. So I'm not saying Miami is anything to ride high about, but as the home team and maybe the healthier team, because I think there's some injuries on Dallas, right? Aren't we concerned about?
There's a few, man. And they were using that excuse that like, oh, they had the fucking flu. Last week. Like, let's see what the injuries are. Keep talking, I'll bring it up.
I'm worried about some of that. Yeah. So, I mean, in this game, if you're going to, again, put a gun to my head, I'm going to take the home team. I'm going to take Tyreek Hill. I'm going to take Mostert. I'm going to take A-Chain. I'm going to take Waddle. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take Tua, who even when they lose, they're in the game. They're in the game when they lose. Dallas, when they lose, they're never even in the game. Like, I just can't. I I can't be on this Dallas. I just can't be on them this week. I know everybody else is.
And here were the injuries, because I talked about like no Jonathan Hankins at defensive tackle. I don't think that's all that big a deal. But the two I was talking about, like it seems like Tyron Smith, he's doubtful. He's going to miss the game. And then like Zach Martin, we saw him go out in that Bills game.
That to me is a big loss.
Both of them, they're elite O-linemen.
Yeah. So Martin being out, like you just said, like they're gonna have to, like you know what I'm saying. So I think that I'm just gonna have to. I would have to go. I would have to lean Miami here.
Yeah. So
as much as it pains me to say it.
Any other games you want to talk about before we go? And Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Hope you have a great holiday.
You too. I hope you have a great holiday as well. As far as the Seattle Tennessee game, or the injuries on Tennessee are just piling up. How is are we not all just, shouldn't we all just go on Seattle here? Are we starting Ryan Tannehill?
I don't know, man. Like I think I would actually prefer if the Seahawks went with Locke, just for an example. Like they're saying Will Levis might play, but
I don't know, man. Seattle looked damn good last week.
I don't want to bet that game because
I had Seattle last week, by the way. Not money line. I just took them with the points.
For instance, I think the big weakness of Seattle is their secondary pass defense. But like you said, like if you're getting Tannehill, Levis, Titans receiving corps, who's really going to take advantage of that?
Who's going to stop Kenneth Walker on Tennessee? Who's going to stop the run?
Well, who's out? Because if they got like Jeff Simmons in there, I'll take my chances. I didn't see the injury report for Tennessee because that's not a game I'm targeting. So, I think they've got an issue with some defensive players from what I. Yeah, Jeff Simmons is out, so that's big.
If you can check that real quick, because I'm pretty confident there's a significant issue with the Tennessee defense.
They got a few players out. Like they got Jeff Simmons out.
He is out.
Still got two other decent interior players after that, but Jeff Simmons is elite. Luke Gifford's out. Hooker's out at safety. Man, they got a lot of injuries. They got like 3 tight ends on the injury report.
I don't see a path for them to. I don't see a path for them to win this unless Ryan Tannehill decides to, resurrect his career and, become non-retirable, I guess.
Yeah, but I'm not as big on Seattle, man. Like, if the Eagles could have just snapped the ball, they would have won that game. And I'm just not big on Seattle. And it's kind of like the same principle of betting like Seattle. It's the home field advantage, man. There's no science to it. If you guys like Seattle, that's fine. I've just been disappointed with them the whole year. I've been disappointed with the defense. I thought the defense would be a lot better. I don't know about you, Lauren, but I thought the defense would be a lot better.
I mean, they're never going to be back as the Legion of Boom again, but I did have higher expectations. But I just don't see a path for this Tennessee team with Simmons being out, like you just said. Even if Levis is playing, or I think Tannehill's playing, Tannehill was holding the ball for the kicker last week. I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on there. You know what I mean? So I know you're not targeting this game. I'll tell you what, though, I probably lost 5 years of my life with your Cleveland team last week. And I can't do it anymore with them. I just can't. I can't touch it. I can't do it anymore with Cleveland. I think that and kudos to Joe Flacco. I'm all, proud of him for coming off of the sofa and doing what he's done. But when they're on the road, that's a different ball game. And even when they were home, we expected more out of their defense when they were home, and they just didn't provide. I think that well is been drained.
Yeah, I'm not doing. I can't do it again. Like, can't
Mhm.
do it.
I can't. Yeah, I can't either.
Especially with like the 2 pick sixes last week.
Oh,
And one went to like the 2-yard line, but after watching that, I can't do it anymore. And also like the false starts on 4th and inches, yeah, like I can't do it anymore. It's just
and
now they can't run the ball.
what's everyone saying about the Jets? What is this big damn deal with the Jets this week?
Why is what people are excited about the Jags? I didn't know
Yeah.
people were betting it.
Yeah, I don't know why. To me, that's no fly zone. But whatever.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet that game. And like also like Commanders I think the Commanders might have the worst defense in the league.
Yeah, they got rid of their 2 best defensive players.
Is Trevor Siemian going to be able to take care of that, or exploit that? And
Are we not back to Zach Wilson?
he's out with a concussion.
Oh, so now we're at Trevor Siemian.
He damn near got killed last week just because his offensive line can't block
30-0.
I think Roger wanted to come back this game.
I know he did. I know he did. I know he did. I did too. I wanted to see it just for the New York fans to be excited about something this year, because now they're down to, the quarterback and the Giants, and now we're on like the 9th quarterback in the Jets with such a, you know what I mean? That defense is just tired. Like, let's just leave them alone. Let them go on vacation. Let them just come back next year. Let's just
yeah, and I still think it's the best defense in the league. It's just if you have no complementary football, and maybe that's why people think it. But listen, man, I don't know if you watched any of your Rams last week against the Commanders, but Jacoby Brissett came in. He completely changed the landscape of that game. But they're going with Howell again. But I think they might pull Howell. That's the only thing that worries me. Like, I get people wanting to just back the Jets defense, but like you said, they're tired. There's absolutely nothing to play for. They got like 4 free agents on defense too. So
yeah. So stay away. So I'm gonna tell you guys real quick as a recap. I love Arizona. I'm really, really high on Arizona. If there's no Trevor Lawrence, I'm gonna go Tampa. Arizona is probably my best play. I will have some props in there. If you guys, I'll post them when they post the thread. I have a few that I like. And I don't trust Justin Fields to cover, or Eberflus to cover anything as a favorite ever. And I know you guys are on Detroit, but they make me nervous. So I might be on Minnesota. I haven't quite decided how I'm going to do that yet, but I might have to go against the grain and go with your Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think you're going to get that hook. I could be wrong. So if you don't get the hook, please don't do it.
No, it has
anyways,
to be the
like,
hook.
yeah, Minnesota, I felt like you were underplaying them. They've been absolutely phenomenal. But,
yeah,
Nick Moore.
Yeah.
All right, Lauren, great to have you. Merry Christmas.
All right, guys. Listen, Merry
Happy
Christmas,
holidays,
and I'm sure I'll talk. You too. Are you doing anything? Any more live betting this throughout the year? Because I missed last week. I don't
want to commit to it and not do it though. So
yeah, I missed the whole thing last Saturday. I missed it all. Never got to see any of it.
Yeah, it was 1-1. So you didn't.
Oh, really?
Those were good games, though. They were good games to watch.
They were. I missed the whole thing. But yeah, hit me up and let me know if you do, because I want to make sure I don't miss the next one.
And I think we should do it for the playoffs too. So, all right, Lauren,
I'll be in on that. Like, I can join you for that one. So, yeah.
Playoffs are good, man.
All right. Good luck this week, everybody. And I'll post my comments on your thread when you post it.
Thank you. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Patreon bets will be up 10. Give me like to 9 p.m. tonight. Give me like 9:30, 10 p.m. They'll be up. We'll have 2 soccer plays. Oh, this Mike guy's like such a fucking piece of shit. He's such a piece of shit. Come on the show. Come on the show. Come on the show. Come on the show. Put your email and I'll get you on the show. And this is my job. Come on the show, man. I want to see you. Anyways, he won't. Mr. Heat, we'll get you on the show next week, man. We'll be going live more. So I just want to get this Mike guy on. Like this dude talks shit in like the snidest way. Yeah, I want to see he's always shitting on people too. Not Mike Stacks, this Mike guy. I want to see him come on. Because I'll leave the link. All he needs to do is come on the link. Yeah, Merry Christmas, Jose. Yeah, Merry Christmas to everyone. Yeah, I want to see Mike, man. And like he's just talking nonsense. He's like talking nonsense. Yeah, I want to. We'll definitely go live during the playoffs. Like it's worth it. It's worth it. So just click. I know I'm a little bit behind, Mike, but just click this link. And Mr. Heat, how you do? Mr. Heat, I haven't seen you a lot this year, man. How you doing, man? Dude, yeah, Jared, yeah. Listen, man. And like the thing he's saying is just it's lunacy. It's absolute lunacy, the thing he's saying. And I can only spell this out with him on the Mike, but Mr. Heat. All right. Yeah, we used to have a guy named Heater. I thought maybe it was you because you two made people change the names. Andy T, I'm thinking about it. Andy, it was fun hanging out with you, man. I'm thinking about it, man. I'm thinking about it. I don't want to commit to it and fucking back out like a bitch. So I'm thinking about it. So I'll let you guys know on Instagram. Hit the like button, share the videos. Mike is hiding in his bunker. Nice to see you guys, man. Merry Christmas. Have a great New Year. Don't do anything crazy, man. Don't go out in the car like 2 a.m. Have a good one, guys.